A topic that has always interested me, that I've always wanted to talk about on this channel, but I haven't yet, is astrology. If you don't believe in astrology, horoscopes, zodiac signs, things like that, feel free to click off this video now. I think the way that I want to do this series is I want to pick a zodiac sign and then think about all of the people that I know in my personal life with that zodiac sign and tell a few stories about them and then sum up what I think about that astrological sign afterwards. Now, not all of the signs fall into their specific stereotypes. I understand everyone is different based off of their astrological chart, their star chart. So for this particular video, I wanted to start off this series strong with a sign that I knew I could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours about, and that is Sagittarius. So I feel like we've all been hurt by Sagittarius at some point in our lives. Am I right? Am I right? But the Sagittarius in question for me today is one of my friends. Are we still friends? I think he watches my videos. I don't know. Are we still friends? But this Sagittarius will know who he is whenever I start talking about him. So if you're watching this video, hey! So my experience with this Sagittarius goes back to my, I want to say freshman year of college. So I met this guy about a year to almost 2 years ago. He just seemed so calm and collected, and it really drew me to him. And at the time, he was hanging around with a lot of negative influences, and I think one of the reasons why we ended up gravitating towards each other was because I wasn't like the people that he had in his life at the time. I was kind of a breath of fresh air for him, and he is to this day someone that I am very thankful for having met. Now, eventually, I got off my ass and went to hang out with this person, and I found out that I really, really liked just being around him. And I know that I was nervous because I was kind of overtaken by how set he seemed to be in himself and how he knew himself so well. It kind of put me off because I was like, okay, so this is a person who is already established and I don't know who I am. I looked up to him in a way of like, I really admire you knowing so much about yourself and you knowing like where you stand in this world. I kind of see now that it's kind of a facade in a sense to where he knows himself to a point, but he doesn't know what is good for him. So something that I learned from him about Sagittariuses is that Sagittariuses are really, really good at putting on this face of, I know myself, and I know what's best for me, and I know what I want to do in life, and I know what I can do in life. But then at the same time, they don't do any of it. I noticed throughout my friendship with him that he kept falling back into the same kind of cycle of knowing that the types of girls in particular, they were bad for him, but he didn't care because he was just like, I see something appealing to me and I'm going for it even if it fucks me over in the long run. Like Sagittariuses, when they put their mind to something, they don't stop and they don't care what the consequences are. That's why there's some crazy motherfuckers. Now, I don't know what it was about him that made me so nervous. I think I just wanted him to like me. I think it was because I knew that he was a very judgmental person, and that is also something I've learned about Sagittariuses, is that they are very, very judgmental. When you're friends with a Sagittarius, it's kind of hard to get them to slow down and just kind of take time to really get to know each other, because Sagittariuses are constantly go, go, go. You have to get them on a good day in order to have them kind of slow down and like talk to them. That was the one thing that my friend continued to say to me, is that nobody had really taken the time to get to know him. But the thing that I love about him is that he is full of life and he is always ready to go do anything. I think they kind of surround themselves with other hype signs because that's what feels natural to them. Relationship wise, I think that Sagittariuses need someone that's gonna kind of keep them in check and tell them like, hey, you're being a little too much right now. Some of the stereotypes for Sagittariuses are that they are afraid of commitment and long-term relationships, and I think that that is the case to an extent. I think that Sagittariuses just kind of need to get their shit together a little bit. Sagittariuses are more so like job oriented. I feel like they do really well creatively. Sagittariuses could be really, really good in like arts and media and music. Let me tell you guys though, I've never met a harder worker than a Sagittarius at the end of the day. I've never met a harder worker. And I think that the goal for Sagittariuses are to try to better yourself on a friendship level and try to not only get to know others, but like let people get to know you. Try to be a little bit more vulnerable. I like Sagittariuses personally. I think we've all, like I said in the beginning of this video, I think we've all been hurt by one, and I don't think it's necessarily intentional. And I would say that would be kind of the big thing to focus on, is like, how do you treat people? But for now, that's all I have to say about Sagittariuses. But if you have any suggestions for which sign I should do next, go ahead and leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. God, I'm such a loser.